how's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Amityville Horror Christmas. This is from 2013 and is written by John G. Jones. And yeah, you guys may know John G. Jones as the guy who wrote most, if not all, of the Amityville Horror series from book 2 onwards, so this is part of the official series. And what that means is they can use the phrase Amityville Horror, not like unofficial Amity stuff that has to say Amityville Terror or Amityville Haunting. This is part of the official book series and can use the whole name. But also, we can reference the story of the Lutzes, which is something that all the unofficial stories can't do. And this ties back into the first book and kind of acts as a sort of like parallel side story. It's only, I have the KDP, the newest edition, and my copy's only like 98 pages long, so it's pretty short and sweet, and is a quick little read. But I have to say, even though this is a Christmas story, even though this is a tie-in, even though this is a novella, they still put in a ton of effort into this, and I was really captivated and really engaged. I really did like this story. Basically, this takes place during the events of the first book, and George Lutz calls a company of handymen on the day before Christmas and says, "The boathouse door is really getting to me. I can't stand it. I know it's almost Christmas, but can you send someone down to fix the door to keep it from slamming so I can at least enjoy the holiday?" And even though it's really late and everyone wants to go to the families, they send 2 guys down there to Amityville on Christmas Eve night, and things are gonna go nuts. And I know some of you are going to say, what, this is a Amityville Boathouse Store spinoff? And I get that feeling, and like Star Wars used to do that all the time too, to take some minor character and give it its own spin-off tie-in media stuff. But again, they do like actually care about it. And when they said like early on, when George Lutz calls these guys, he says, "Don't go in the house, don't talk to me, just fix the boathouse door and leave me alone." And my brain was like, okay, yeah, because if they talk to you, these 2 guys might interfere with continuity and you might wonder why they weren't referenced in the first book. So yeah, it is very standard tie-in media as far as the setup goes, but they do pay it off and it does work out really well. And the book is kind of like 2 halves. The first half of the book is more subtle and ominous, and the horror is more quiet and dreadful. And you get things like them going to the house and kind of knowing that something's going on inside, but you can't ever peer in. That's kind of this creepy veil. And then feeling things, in some cases pain. Boy, does this book describe pain very well. Like, at one point, the manager of the repair company decides to call George on the phone, and rather than him answering, he gets this horrifying scream, and it talks about how the scream is so horrifying that even though he was happy and loved his life, it immediately made this guy start to contemplate suicide. Boy, yeah, dark and scary stuff. You really get the idea that this house is something you don't want to mess with. And during the first half, you get to meet our 2 lead characters. You get Randy, who's the, gruffer, more worldly, older guy. And then you get Owen, who's the younger guy. And Owen's kind of quiet, he doesn't talk much, he's very reserved and kind of shy, and that makes it really easy to root for him. You can see how his partner is someone he looks up to, kind of like a father figure, and at one point he has to call the manager of this company, and he's kind of embarrassed to do it, especially knowing that he's gonna be messing with this guy's Christmas Eve. And you can see, that he's, young and professional, but is timid, and you're going to really root for these two people to make it out because you know they're wandering into the dragon's lair. And I have to say, yeah, you do get a good bit of character to get these two going in their truck and the heater's all busted and it's really cold. Yeah, in addition to describing pain well, this describes coldness very well too. The book makes you feel freezing, and if you actually read it in winter, that adds to the immersion. But then you get to the second half of the book, and that's where things start to go nuts. I was like, okay, this is good and creepy and subtle, but then at about the halfway point, they see this mysterious ghost girl who's on the cover here, although she's described a little different in the book. But once you see her, the book starts to take a turn, and this boathouse shed starts to become like the cabin from the Evil Dead or something, and they think of every possible thing you can do. What's in a boathouse, what can go wrong, what can come after you, and you have a task as simple as get out of the boathouse, but something wacky and crazy and horrific is gonna pop up. And it really does have that feel of a big over-the-top 80s movie. And these two are gonna go through the ringer. They really do set it up where either of these two might die, and you really don't want them to, but they are going to have to face some horror, and they are not going to come out of it unscathed, let me tell you that. And really, this is only 98 pages, or at least my edition is. I have the KDP one. It's short, but they really throw a lot at you. They really have a lot of fun. So you can read through this pretty quick. It is, again, more on the novella side of things. So even though it is short, and it is, you know, a spin-off, like, tie-in piece that kind of goes with the first one, it really does punch above its weight class, and it does a whole bunch of cool stuff, and at times it does get really scary, and I had a ton of fun with this. If you guys like the Amityville horror books, definitely go check this one out. I know it's KDP release, the paperback isn't too expensive, and I would definitely say check this out. I had a ton of fun with it, and I really liked when it got over the top, and I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, definitely something to read this time of year. It was pretty fun. And I really need to. I haven't read too many of the Amityville horror books. I know there's a ton of them, especially the ones that aren't official and the ones that are just like true crime books about the DeFeos. I know there are a ton of those, but after reading this, I really need to see at least the John G. Jones ones. With the way this came out, I really want to see just how many of them he made and track them all down. But yeah, it's a thumbs up for me. I had a ton of fun. Anyway, to everyone who's watched so far, thank you for watching. To everyone who's liked and subscribed, thank you. You really are helping the channel out. I'll leave a relevant playlist on the bottom. This should be my Amityville playlist. If you guys want to see me talk about other Amityville stories, you should be able to find them there. Anyway, have a good day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Relevant playlist here. Have a good day now.